days of hard labor, enough to break our bones. This was our first temple out in the desert sands. We later built fine temples, exiled in many lands. We prayed with great sincerity and gave it all we got. Because of this pandemic, we're out in the parking lot. God can be very near, or may seem very far, but when you're in the parking lot, he may as well be in your car. Thanks, Gloria, for your wonderful poetry. Our resident nonagenarian. So how are we doing? Ready?
We're good. We're good.
So Bruce is going to give the announcement.
Lashana Tova, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome. Welcome to a wonderful experience. I can tell you, I said to the rabbi earlier, this may be the largest physical gathering for a Rosh Hashanah service in all of New York State, and who knows in the rest of the country. I'm looking around here, and it's so wonderful to see all the smiling faces. Rabbi, I'm looking at the grills of the cars, and they look like they're smiling because they're so happy to be here. Enjoy the service. We'll bring you everything you need. Rabbi gave you all of the logistics you need to know about being here in the parking lot. This is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for you, or maybe twice in a lifetime if the weather cooperates on Yom Kippur. Lashana Tova, happy, healthy New Year. Enjoy the service.
Okay, as Cantor is getting set up, just so you know, Paul Staley, as Cantor said, is actually back here. He's looking super cool. I feel like he's in one of these 70s bands with his keyboard here. So we're going to get started with a welcome song.
And
we'll get you in the mood now. Beautiful. Just so you know, Cantor moved a little further back because she can't actually hear Paul's music. And I hope it all coordinates in the car because I can't hear either, so we're going to try our best. Let's arrive in this moment. We invite you, if you are able to stand, I know a lot of you are in your cars and that's hard. You could just straighten your knees as we turn to page 142 for the Barchu, our call to prayer. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or v'rei choshech, Oseh shalom v'rei adakol. Source of blessings, eternal God, your power fills the cosmos, shaping light, creating darkness, making peace, and fashioning all things. We turn to the Shema, which is on page 150.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Yehud Malchuto.
You may be seated. You may be seated. We turn to the V'ahavta, page 152. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher nochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha v'lektecha v'derech uv'shokbecha v'kumecha v'kshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu letotafo b'neinecha v'uktavtam al mezot beitecha v'isharecha leman tizkeru v'yasitem mikol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim leloichem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. We move to the Michamocha, page 164. To rise, page 166. Cantor is going to recite the opening prayer, the Adonai Svatai, and then we're going to continue with our silent meditation through page 174. take time to reflect on this year, on this moment. And whenever you're ready, if you're standing, you can see it. Page 168 in the middle.
זוכרנו לחיים, לחפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים.
We move to that section, the Unatanatoka. At any point you'd like to sit down, that's certainly okay. We're on 174. We're going to read together these holy words that mean so much more this year. Let us proclaim the power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe, inspires us highest praise for your dominion. In your throne of love, your reign is a reign of truth. In truth, you are judge and plaintiff, counselor and witness. You inscribe and seal, you record and recount. You remember all that we have forgotten. And when you open the book of memories, it speaks for itself, for every human hand leaves its mark in imprint like none other. And we turn now to page 178. And we sing the Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah יקצרון וביום צום כיפור ויום צום כיפור יקצרון וביום צום כיפור ויום צום כיפור יקצרון Shalef Bizasor Eoni Eoshem Ishafal Ambiyaru.
We read together. On Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed. How many will pass away from this world? How many will be born into it? Who will live and who will die? Who will reach the ripeness of age? Who will be taken before their time? Who by fire? Who by water? Who by war? Who by beast? Who by famine? Who by drought? Who by earthquake? Who by plague? Who by strangling? Who by stoning? Who will rest and who will wander? Who will be tranquil? Who will be troubled? Who will be calm? Who tormented? Who will live in poverty? Who in prosperity? Who will be humbled and who exalted? On the next page. But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of this decree.
Uteshuva, utefila, utzdaka. Ma'avirin adro al gezeira.
You may be seated. It is moving to tears to see everyone out there praying. This is a very unusual experience for Cantor and Paul and I, Bruce up here. And there is holiness in this moment. How many of you have felt lost in your life? Have you ever felt lost? I remember the first time I ever felt lost, and I mean really lost. I was 19 years old and embarking on a one-year study in Israel at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. I arrived alone at the Old Lod airport on an El Al flight at 4 in the morning, completely jet-lagged and with no idea how to get to my final destination. I grabbed a Sherut, a shared cab, and told the driver to bring me to the university. The driver asked me which university I meant. I had no idea. I could only tell him it was in Jerusalem. The cab driver dropped me off in the middle of the Mount Scopus campus at a bus stop, depositing my two huge, and I mean huge, 50-pound plus bags on the sidewalk next to me. The campus was empty and immense. I felt so tiny and so very, very tired. There was an office door nearby which I tentatively knocked on. The door was unlocked. Inside, I explained in broken Hebrew who I was and where I was trying to go. "You are on the wrong campus," I was told, and instructed to take the bus across town to Givat Ram, the secondary campus of the university. Somehow I managed to follow their directions, sitting on top of my duffel bags on the 45-minute bus ride. I arrived almost in tears, completely unsure of what I would do next, cursing myself for how ill-prepared I had been for my trip, but knowing I had literally no one to call for help. It was still barely 10 a.m., and with 7-hour difference between us and the U.S., it was still 2 a.m. back at home. I lugged my huge bags down to the nearest building and there collapsed. I had all but given up. Opening my eyes, I found myself staring at the face of my best friend from high school, getting ready for our intensive Hebrew class that morning. I had arrived. And so began one of the most important years of my young adult life. Sometimes you have to get lost to truly find where you're going. And more importantly, to find out who will be going with you. The Torah describes a moment like this in the book of Genesis, where Jacob, running scared from his brother Esau, after having just stolen his birthright and blessing, is forced to encamp on a mountainside with only rocks to use as a pillow. He is scared and alone, unsure of whether he will even survive the night. From out of that bleakness, a ladder appears, carrying angels up and down from the heavens back down to earth. And God's voice resounds, promising our patriarch he will soon find safety. Upon waking in Genesis 28, verse 16, Jacob says the following, "Surely God is in this place, and I knew it not. Aken yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati." We arrive at the start of this year, 5781, in a similar state, unsure of where we are headed. The world is in disarray. Our lives have been upended by disease we cannot even see nor truly understand. We long for connection and comfort, hoping to open our eyes, and suddenly the world pre-COVID will be restored. Yes, my friends, we are lost, and hopefully by coming together we will find what we are seeking. How perfect that we are here at the Transit Drive-In, a place where for decades the faces of our heroes and heroines have illuminated the darkness and offered a brief respite from our hectic lives. When the idea was first offered at the beginning of the pandemic, it seemed so strange. A drive-in was very far from the standard image of our high holy days. And yet, the more we mulled it over, explored our options, the more perfect it became. And thanks to the generosity of Rick Cohen, and his little dog Gigi, who is the third-generation proprietor of this Buffalo institution, this is exactly where we are. Movies have often served as the places where holiness is most tangible, where the ineffable is expressed, and where the unimaginable comes to life. This is where Humphrey Bogart greeted Ingmar Bergman with the famous line, "Here's looking at you, kid." Where Julie Andrews danced around Salzburg singing The Sound of Music. Where Roy Hobbs broke the clock tower at Wrigley Field in The Natural. Where the Death Star was destroyed. Where E.T. phoned home. Where Harry Potter finally defeated Voldemort. And in more recent memory, where the Avengers finally collected the Tesseract. And if you don't know that reference, ask the nearest young person. In each and every one of these cases, the story revolved around someone seeking, and only through their search, by occasionally losing their way, did they find what they were looking for. One particular heroine comes to mind as the very embodiment of Teshuvah, our return home on this most auspicious day. A young girl whose house has just been swept away in a storm, and who with only dog in hand must find her way back to her family in Kansas. I don't know if it's little Gigi that reminded me of that, but I have to think about Toto there. This is, of course, none other than Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. We in Jewish Buffalo have a special fondness for the movie version of the tale because it features the music of Harold Arlen, the son of a local cantor who took his talents in a different direction. The scene that comes to mind is from the end of the movie, where our young heroine has already overcome many obstacles in her path. There is only one thing left on her plate: to actually go home. Things look bleak as the wizard has been revealed to be a phony. How will she ever accomplish her seemingly impossible task? It is at this moment that we see Glinda in her poofy pink dress, waving her magic wand, asking Dorothy if she's ready. "You don't have to stay here any longer," the good witch tells her. "You've always had the power to go home." Then Glinda instructs the young girl to tap her ruby red slippers 3 times, saying, "There is no place like home. There is no place like home. There is no place like home." And suddenly she is there. We too have always had the power to go back home. We only have had to be ready to use it. By home, I do not mean our physical home, our congregation, your actual home, but something much more, a spiritual home, the place where we feel most connected to those we love, where even the Wicked Witch of the West has no power. When we come together as a minyan, a quorum of 10 or more, whether virtually or in person, we make a statement to one another that we are not alone in the world, and only with the permission of the group are certain prayers possible. Among those is the Jewish version of Linda's incantation, the Kedusha, or the holiness prayer from the Tefillah that we just said. It too has us clicking our heels together 3 times, just as Dorothy does in the movie. And I love how I saw Robin doing it down there. Rising higher with each click, ascending like the angels in the book of Ezekiel. For our purposes, we need not have ruby red slippers. We need only one another. A minyan of fellow seekers. As I recite the words of the Kedusha, I encourage you to lift up with each word, and like in the Wizard of Oz, we seek a little bit of magic to enter into our life. So I'm going to lift up. We put our feet together wherever you are. You don't need to stand. And we say the holiest words. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Holy, holy, holy. Being lost is never fun, no matter how young or old you are. Like I felt so many years ago on my arrival in Israel, it can be truly terrifying. Some of us have that feeling right now with doctors and politicians at a loss how to proceed, perhaps putting our economic and physical lives in grave risk. To the many members of our academic community, students and teachers and administrators, we know how very disorienting this time has been. We know how hard you've worked. To the many who have suffered through COVID or have had friends or family suffered or even die from it, we extend our arms around you. To the many seniors and isolated members of our community cut off from friends and family, we are here for you. I also hope you know that myself and Cantor, Joanne, Bruce, Paul, our entire Shir Shalom community are here for you. Like Dorothy, we are trapped over the rainbow with little idea how to return home. But just as I found out nearly 3 decades ago, by finding the faces of one another, we will find our bearings. In doing so, we will find God. Even Dorothy could not do it alone, but needed the Tin Man, Lion, and the Scarecrow to help her out. That is the true reason of our gathering on Rosh Hashanah. By clicking our heels together, we signal to one another we are here at our Yellowbrook Road, and that Kedusha, holiness, exists even here, but most especially here at the Transit Drive-In. May holiness abound and surround us in 5781, wherever we happen to be. A Shana Tova Mituka, a joyous, sweet new year to us all. Shana Tova. And this is the point where magic happens because Steve Glickman is going to appear. No, is he here? Where is Steve? I know that he's here somewhere. Go see if he's in there. All right, Steve, we need you. There he is, Steve Glickman. He's going to be blowing our shofar. We're going to turn to our shofar service on page 206. And as he's making his way up here, I'll have, maybe we'll do the blessings in preparation. Again, on page 206.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'shmo kol hashofar.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
you, God, who brought us to this moment, allows us life, allows us to be present today on this holiest of days. If you're able to rise, rise for the sounding of the shofar. The call is on page 206. Tikia, Shivarim Trua, Tikia, Tikia, Shivarim, Tikia, Tikia, Trua, and together, Tikia Gedola. Excellent job. I wish I had that range. We're going to be going to Avinu Malkeinu now, page 222. We'll read together, actually 223. We'll read together responsibly. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. And together, Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Anenu anenu Afinu angenu Anenu anenu Kiemanu Asi.
You may be seated. I'd like to invite up Bruce Corris, our synagogue president, to offer a few.
Lashana Tova, everyone. All right, this might be a little difficult in this setting, but we're going to try it anyway. Knock, knock. That was great. Do we have the coolest temple or what? Last year, I stood on the bima at Rosh Hashanah and said we should be called the cool shul. If this doesn't literally drive that point home, I don't know what would. But this year, being cool is not enough. This year, there are other words that matter, like committed. Committed to doing everything we can for our members. Another good word is dedicated. Dedicated to meeting your needs in whatever way possible. Innovative is a good word, so is team. But maybe the best word of all is positive. Let's face it, it would have been so easy to do what so many other organizations have done. Throw our hands up in the air and say, woe is us. Look at what we can't do anymore. But that has never happened here. From the moment this pandemic first hit, not once has this temple had that defeatist attitude. Ours has always been, okay, if we can't do this, what can we do? We have looked at every obstacle as an opportunity. And as a result, we haven't missed a beat. Let me put it all in perspective for you. On March 9th, we had 250 people in our sanctuary for the Purim Spiel. This past Sunday, we had the largest attendance since then. 15 people were there for a funeral. So things have certainly been different. But look at what we've been able to do. Look at how many of you have been able to attend our Friday night Park and Pray Erev Shabbat services. Look at all the things you've experienced on Zoom. Seders and services, guest speakers, concerts, and just plain fun events. Look at everything we've done together on Facebook. Look at the Jewish education your children have still been able to receive. Look at how we've been there for you in important life cycle events and moments, like B'nai Mitzvahs and weddings, and yes, funerals and shivas. They have been on Zoom. They've been on live stream. They've been in the parking lot. They've been in families' backyards, and they have been memorable. And that's just some of what we've done. Has it taken a lot of work by a lot of people? You bet. But they've done it willingly. I can't do my usual listing of all those names because of time constraints. Rabbi said to me, you know, you've only got a minute for your speech. I said, who writes your material, Rob Lederman? But I will be emailing out a longer version of these remarks because there are so many names, and I want to make sure we recognize all of them. But you know who I'm talking about, because I've been talking about them every week. Our clergy, our staff, our board and executive committee, and of course you, our members. As I said when I gave the President's Award to the entire Shir Shalom family, these are extraordinary times, but this is an extraordinary group. Don't get me wrong, we still face difficulties and challenges. Our finances are uncertain. We don't know what the next year will bring. But we will continue to face them with hard work, creativity, and the same positive mindset that has gotten us this far. If I were to come up with a word for the state of the temple this year, I would say impressive. Pretty darn impressive. Now, I can't end my speech the way I usually do, but I'm going to try something a little different given the setting. If this is not the first time you've attended or watched a service since the pandemic began, Toot your horn. If this temple has continued to meet your needs, religious, spiritual, educational, a life cycle event, or just social, toot your horn. Okay, big finish. If you can say, yes, I'm still connected. I'm connected to my fellow congregants. I'm connected to my temple. I'm connected to my faith. Blow your horn. That's music to my ears. And that is my pledge to you. As we continue to face these uncertain times, you can be certain of this. Your temple will be here for you. We will meet your needs, whatever they are, however we can. Even when we are apart, we will always be together. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being part of this amazing temple family. Happy New Year. Healthy New Year. Safe New Year. Lashana Tova.
Well, I think we've caused a pile up on Transit Avenue over there. We're going to be moving to the end of our service with the Great Aleinu. It's on page 286. It's not enough for us just to pray. We need to go out and do the important things that make this world better. If you're able to rise on page 286, please do so. You could just straighten out your knees, however you feel most comfortable. And no bowing to the ground. It's too dirty. Page 283, please join me. I know that poverty must cease. I know that through the brokenness and conflict in my heart, I know that protest is my prophetic act, and that the world is longing for a new soul, a new healing moment. I know that when we awaken to our origins and become truly human, we bring hope to the children and to the earth. I feel called today to bring the people together to break the bread and tell the story. I feel called today to be a mystic in action, aligned to the dynamics of the universe. I feel called today to give my gift, to listen to the heartbeat of the broken world, to heal the fragmentation of people and planet. I feel called today to celebrate the wonder of creation and respond to the sacredness and the challenges of life. I feel called today to participate in the work of my time, to fall in love, to feel at home. I feel called today to be inflamed in enduring hope, to be at one with the universe, to be touched by God. I feel called today to compose a new paragraph for life. And we turn to the end, page 289, the end of the Aleinu by Yom Hahu. You may be seated. We're going to turn to our memorial prayers, our Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 292. We had two major losses right here on the Erev Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah. Of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, thoughts and prayers with the family. She showed us a role model of what a Jewish woman, what a human being can do in this world. We also lost in our community, we just found word, just heard Grace Bluestone. May her memory be a blessing. She was one of the wonders of our community, led our Sisterhood Women of Shir Shalom service every year with her poetry, and we've lost quite a bit in her passing. We also remember Pam Harrisburg, the mother of Mark Harrisburg, who died last week, and Sis Snitzer, who we just had the funeral for. Donald Cornell, Gladys Grunfeld, Rabbi Larry Moldo, and Flora Sands, all who died in the last month. On our yard-side list from years past, we remember Rabbi Robert Algassi, David Arbitman, Esther Arbach, Joe Berger, Irving Bunis, Leo Berwick, Dora Chapovetsky, Dov Chapovetsky, Malka Chaya Chapovetsky, Pesach Chapovetsky, Yankiv Joseph Chapovetsky, Saul Klutler, Carolyn Foreman, Sidney Friedman, Gerald Glasser, Benjamin Golden, Joseph Hesch, Salah Hesch, Lizzie Iggers, Betty Markel Jacobson, Marianne Kleiner, Jack S. Knopp, Joseph F. Lindenfeld, Nicholas Lowinger, Marie Malucci, William Mintzer, Belle Nosenchuk, Beatrice Pearlstein, Aaron Plaskin, Morris Posner, James Z. Pugash, Milton Reingold, Mervyn Ed J. Schwartz, Minnie Sirota, Goldener Shapoznikoff, Isidore Simon, Lawrence Solatsky, Cecilia Spiegelman, Sam Sabatnik, Martin Tall, Abraham Tombach, Miriam Tombach, Minnie Topkin, Louis E. Weinberg, Sophia Weinstein, Irving Wexler, Yankel Winiger, and Mary Wonder. Whoever you are, if you want to say your name, a name that speaks to you today out loud, feel free to do so. And again, the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 292. Those of you whose custom it is to rise, please rise as we recite together a memorial to all those we love. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yalma Divrach Urte, Yamlik Malkute, V'chaychon of Yamachon, V'chayed Echol Beit Yisrael, V'agalav Yizman Kariv Yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Barach Li'olam U'me'amaya, Yitbarak V'yishtabak V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'tadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Dekudusha Richu. Le'ela U'le'ela Mikol Berkata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechamata V'amiran V'yalma V'yimru Amen. Yehi Shlom Arba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'yimrumav Huyaseh Shalom Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yal Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'yimru Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace in all who mourn. May we be a source of comfort to all who bereave. And we say, Amen. Yikronam Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. I'd like to invite again Bruce Korus, our synagogue president, to offer the announcements.
Tova, Loshana Tova again, everyone. You'll notice that the cantor and I have been trading off her transmitter. I just want to recognize all the work that the cantor has done, along with the help. Where's Mike? Mike Frank has been very helpful as well. She's really done most of all of this to put this together from the technical end of it. And as you can see today, it was all worth it. So we do want to thank her for all of her hard work on all of this. Also, many of you have been noticing the masks that the rabbi and I have been wearing, the Shir Shalom masks. Stay tuned for information on how you will be able to order one of those for yourself. Quick note, as you leave, you guys were great pulling in. We had no fender benders or anything like that. That was great. Leave to the right. Make sure you leave just like Hebrew. Leave to the right, and we'll get you out of here. Okay. Be patient getting out on train. My right. Sorry about that. I pointed that way. Where's Todd? You'll just hear Todd yelling. That'll do it. Go where Todd is. Anyway, Lashana Tova again, everyone. Real quick, can you feel this? Can you feel it? That's a giant kvel coming up from this parking lot today. We are not just praying today, we're kveling, and this has just been a wonderful, wonderful experience. We want to especially thank Rick Cohen for hosting these services at the drive-in. He helped to make this experience so unique and so wonderful for our members. Thank you, Rick, for everything that you're doing for us. And of course, thank you to the rabbi, the cantor, Paul Staley, for just a beautiful service this morning in honor of Rosh Hashanah. We hope you enjoyed the virtual sanctuary production of Hashivenu. We will be releasing the virtual sanctuary production of Kol Nidre on Wednesday. That was all cantor, and we want to thank her for that. These recordings are beautiful and meaningful. This afternoon, we'll be back here, if you'd like, for the family service at 2:30 with Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, and Dr. Andy Simons. This is open to the community, RSVP if you haven't already done so. And after the service, stop by the snack bar for a complimentary ice cream novelty sponsored by Sherry Joe Reich and family. Then Tashlik will follow at 4:15 behind the JCC Benderson building. As I've said, that is BYOB, bring your own breadcrumbs. Tomorrow morning, we will have our Rosh Hashanah second day service. That will be at 10:30 via Zoom. That is open to everyone. If you have not been at Whitechapel lately, and if you're planning to stop in during the high holiday season, please say a special thank you to Todd Sugarman and TLS Landscaping. They did the mitzvah they do every year, which is to go out there and clean it up. It really looks so nice, and that's a wonderful thing that you do. Thank you for that. You can still do High Holy Day prayer book dedications if you'd like. There are forms in the September newsletter or call the temple office. If you want to attend the drive-through break-fast bagel box delivery, say that 3 times, after Yom Kippur services on Monday, September 28th, that's about 7:15 p.m., RSVP to Joanne. That is free to members in good standing. RSVP deadline is September 23rd, and that is sponsored by the Rabbi's Discretionary Fund and catered by Johnny C's. We want to thank the women of Shir Shalom and our board of trustees, clergy, and staff for helping with our Rosh Hashanah gift bags. Many of you have already told me what it means to you to receive that, and we want to hope that they bring you sweetness to your new year. We want to thank Sue Hill for steaming and hanging the Ark curtains for the High Holy Days and for cutting all of the red yarn to complement the rabbi's speech, sermon, I should say. Dan Kester is out there somewhere. He wanted me to remind you, the men's group will be doing sukkah building September 26th. If you'd like to help out, contact Dan, shoot him an email. I've mentioned already, exit to the right. Be careful as you leave. Lashana Tova, I cannot tell you what joy I feel. My right. That way.
Wait, don't leave quite yet. We're not leaving.
Yet.
We still have a couple more prayers.
Sir, yeah, don't leave now. Don't wait.
Have a couple more prayers.
Wait till the rabbi says you can go. But anyway, when you do, go that way. Anyway, Lashana Tova, happy, healthy New Year to all of you.
All right. As we're getting set up for the very final prayers, we need Steve Blickman over here one last time for Shofar Blowing, wherever you are. Come back up. And we are going to be concluding on page 299 with Ein Kelohenu. as Cantor is just getting set up with her transmitter again. So Steve, we need you wherever you are. There you are. Come on. Page 300. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And for our fruit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. We're going to bring Stephen over here for one last Tikiyah Gedolah. We're going to say it together. Cantor and I will move back. Let's all say Tikiyah Gedolah to him. Tikiyah Gedolah!